In the name of God, I am Egyptian writer, journalist, Anis Aldeghidy. I am pleased to be the first to say to all world. Number one, I meet President Saddam Hussein. Number one, again, I meet President Saddam Hussein in the country over now twice. First time, the year 2010, and the second time in the year 2014. Number two, I meet with Mr. Vice President Ibrahim also. Number three, that President Saddam Hussein is about to emerge and go out to the world very soon. Number four, that President Saddam Hussein is leading the resistance now to edit and factory. Number five, that President Saddam Hussein is alive, not dead. That President Saddam Hussein is alive, not dead. And we return to Iraq and the Arab nation for freedom. Thanks.
The clip that you just saw is an Egyptian journalist who claims that he saw Saddam in 2010 and again in 2014, and that Saddam will be revealed to the world. It will be a bombshell before 2015 is out, that he is not dead and that both of his sons are alive. Saddam Hussein was given to the Shia Iraqis who took over the government from the Sunni Iraqis, the party that Saddam led, by the American military. American military did not go, American witnesses did not go, and the proof that the American people have that Saddam was hung by the Iraqi government is the grainy cell phone image that came back that went around the world. The next clip that you see will be where David Donovan tells 4 dreams that he had in 2002 before the invasion in 2003 of Iraq by the United States on Thrust into the Will of God radio program out of Dallas in 2009. When you listen to this, not only does it cover the issues that this journalist out of Egypt is speaking, but he is also speaking of things that are going on now in Syria. It's really interesting. Take time and check this out.
I want to read something to you that was in the paper yesterday. It says, mysterious Saddam channel hits Iraqi TV, the Associated Press, Baghdad. Turning on their TVs during the long holiday weekend, Iraqis were greeted by a familiar, if unexpected face from their brutal past, Saddam Hussein. The late Iraqi dictator is lauded on a mysterious satellite channel that began broadcasting on the Islamic calendar anniversary of his 2006 execution. No one seems to know who is bankrolling the so-called Saddam channel, although the Iraqi government suspects the Ba'athist, whose political party Saddam once led. The Associated Press tracked down a man in Damascus, Syria, named Mohammed Jarbaru, who claimed to be its chairman, but he refuses to say who is funding the channel besides people who love us. Iraqis, surprised to find Saddam on their TVs, responded with mixed emotions. Iraqis don't need such a satellite channel because it has hostile intentions, said Hassan Suhai, a Shiite who owns an internet cafe in eastern Baghdad. Others said they felt nostalgic sorrow at the sight of their late leader, a Sunni Arab. But some Iraqis shrugged off the broadcast as harmless. It has no effect on Iraqi people now, said Mohammed Abdullah, 35, an Iraqi journalist. It goes on to say in one of the clips, Saddam says, "Arabs, get your swords." When Daniel had this vision, he was sick for days. I've had nearly 2,000 dreams and visions in nearly 17 years. 3,400 entries in my journals, with hundreds of things coming to pass, from the DC sniper, Hurricane Katrina, the explosion of the space shuttle, and many, many more. I understand being sick for days when you see things in dreams and visions from the Lord. Some of them are not very pleasant. Many of them will have to do with judgments that come upon nations and individuals. I told you last night that before the war started in 2003 in Iraq, that in 2002, the end of the year, I dreamed that President Bush would be brought up on war crimes, which seemed absolutely insane at the time. But now there's a push all over the world to do that. I also dreamed during that time that Saddam was walking down a hallway toward a room where President Bush was sitting in a chair in the middle of the room by himself. And it was very, very frightful. And I remember I fell out of bed and I fell on the floor. And I just grieved and grieved and grieved for what I saw. It was before the war started that I saw a table of men with President Bush, his advisors, sitting around the table talking. I looked across the room, and Saddam was sitting in a chair, and no one in the room had an idea that he was there. And he was there listening to every single thing that was being said. He looked over at me and nodded, and I nodded at him. It's very interesting in that article, the supposed head of that channel is out of Syria, and that's where most people believed that the weapons of mass destruction from Iraq went before the Americans came in there. Another dream that I had before that war started was American soldiers standing, holding a rope. The rope went through a hole in the wall. He was standing there holding that rope, and all of a sudden there was a yank on that rope, and he went through that hole, and when he got on the other side of the wall, all you could hear was machine gun fire and him screaming, "What did I do? What did I do?" If you look up the word Arab in Hebrew, it means ambush. Another dream before the war, I saw Saddam on television, speaking on television, saying, "Now for the humiliation of the Danish," which would have to do with the Anglo-Saxon nations and the Western nations that have become so ungodly and wicked with their abortion and their sodomy and antichrist spirits. And now Saddam is appearing on television again. Saints, Saddam is still alive. He went into that war having a plan to win, just like President Bush did. He did not plan on losing no matter what the odds were against him, as I read to you out of the book of Daniel about the certain king that rose, having fierce features, understands sinister schemes, and in cunning and deceit he prospers under his rule. I am not saying that Saddam is the Antichrist. What I am saying is is he is a king, and he thought that he stated that he was an ancestor of Nebuchadnezzar. He believed that Irvin Baxter on Politics and Religion could point him out. He believed with all his heart that his name was right there in the book of Revelation. The other point is if America is turning Israel over to her neighbors for destruction, the Lord will allow America to be turned over first for destruction, because Israel be there when everybody else is gone. The Bible says Israel's the apple of God's eye.